good. Give me a thumbs up. Well, smash that like button. Make sure I'm good.
Dave's garage can hear you, and Jason, and it looks good.
Very good. Okay. So today, the big question is, if you had the opportunity to build a shop, how big would you build it, and what would you want to put in it? So that's the question for today. That's the topic of conversation for tonight. Anything else you guys want to talk about too, but that's the topic for tonight is how big would you build and what would you want in it for tools, equipment, lifts? What would you want in it? Would you want, an office inside of it, a loft in it with a man cave in it? What would you want? Because I think I've got everything. It took me a week, well, more than a week, but I think I got everything straightened out. I think we got a concrete guy that I'm comfortable with, and I think we made a big deal today for a really smoking deal for a shop. I got to cross the T's and dot the I's tomorrow, the next day, but I think we're locked in. So if you had the opportunity to build a new shop, your dream shop, what would be in it, and how big would it be? Oh, by the way, welcome to Uncle Buck's Garage. And if you're here, hit that thumbs up, smash that like button. It really helps the channel. I don't know how long this one's going to last tonight, but, because the Thunder, if they win this one tonight, it's over. They're the champions. So we had to get the pry bar out and peel ourselves away from the game because, it's fast and furious right now, the Thunder and them playing. So throw me some questions. Tell me what you would do if you had the opportunity to build a new shop and what you'd do with it.
Jason says 40 by 60, wildfire lift, floor drains, and water.
Yeah, well, looks like we're going to start with a 30 by 40 with a 10-foot lean-to on the back. So it's a 40 by 40 pad, but the lean-to on the back is so that I can get everything out of the weather and under cover, have a place to park the lawnmower, have a place to put the air compressor, so it's not inside the shop because if you can see it over here, the air compressors, when they're turned on, it's loud in here. Some windows, some man doors, 2 roll-up doors, insulation, air. Yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun. But I'm shooting for this year. I'm shooting for pad poured, driveway down, and building in the dry, and then we'll fill in all the blanks in the spring after the first year.
Jeremiah says fill it up with antique cars, accessories, visible gas pump and all.
Yeah. Oh, well, I didn't even think about
compressors outside.
Yeah, compressors outside, definitely. Oh my goodness, it's loud in here when I'm blasting and stuff. It's loud in here. You can't hear yourself think. Because it's so well insulated and sealed. I mean, you can hear a mouse fart in here. It's a great little building, but we're on the cusp of just going bigger and better and it's just going to be so good. I think the next year is going to be very exciting. And I also have some news about a possible sponsorship. We're going to test some stuff out for the next couple of weeks and see if we like it. And I'll tell you about it probably in about 2 weeks. But it's really a big deal. It's really going to be cool, and it's going to benefit you guys a lot. From what I've played with it so far today, it's Yeah, it's going to be a game changer for Uncle Buck's Garage, and it'll be an opportunity for you guys to save a little bit of money and everybody be have the ability to use it. I can't tell you what it is yet, because I've been sworn to secrecy, but I'm trying it out for 2 weeks and see if I like it. And then if it passed the mustard, it's going to be a big deal. It's going to be a really big deal. I'm kind of overwhelmed about it. I mean, with everything going on with the build and trying to get bids in and get concrete bids and get building bids and everything, to have this kind of drop in my lap out of nowhere, it's a big deal. But I can't tell you anything about it until, well, like everything I do, I don't recommend things unless I try them first. And that's what I'm doing. I got a 2-week trial period and see if I like it. And then if it passes the mustard, then it's a big deal.
Jeremiah works on cars all day. I upload videos of the cars I've spent time on. The oldest is a 42 four-door Plymouth.
Nice.
My shop is 75 years old.
Now, like, I have several friends that have shops, and like their parents built them and everything, and they're still great. They leak a little air, but I mean, I'm going to start a little smaller. It'll triple my floor space. As soon as it goes up, it'll triple my floor space, but I'm going to build it in a section where, in case I need to add on to it in the future, it'll just be a matter of pouring a pad and getting the frame put up and drying it in. So there'll be a lot of room for expansion in the future, just in case. And if you don't have to, then it doesn't matter, because I got a brand new the shop that I always wanted in the backyard, 50 foot away from the back door. Anybody watching the Thunder tonight? Tell us what the score is. I'm not a big NBA fan, but I mean, I'm sorry. When it comes to like anything Oklahoma, I just kind of like I get on board with it, like the girls softball team, and baseball and basketball and whatever. If it's involved with OU or Oklahoma, we kind of enjoy it.
30 by 40 is perfect because you still have the OE you're in now. Oh, that's the old one you have.
Yeah. Like I said, this one we're sitting in right now is a 21 by 30. So if I go 30 by 40, that triples my floor space. And then I can move some of the equipment out of here into there. And I have a feeling that this building might turn into the painting building and the bodywork building. Another one be everything mechanical. But you don't ever know. We don't know until it gets done. But I got my bid in for the concrete, and I'm happy with that bid. I like the guy. I met him. We talked for an hour. And like I said, if the deal goes through with the people I talked to for 2 hours today, it's going to be really nice. It's going to match the colors of the house. The windows, the house is a medium gray. It'll be a medium gray with a dark gray. I can't remember what the name of they call it, but a lower part of it, white windows, white trim. It'll be the same colors as the house, which was I would hate to have like a big ugly pink building in the right between the backyard as an eyesore. So it's gonna blend in really nice.
Use high fiber concrete and do reinforce with rebar and wire unless than 3 inches of gravel. It'll never break.
Yeah. The footings for the building have to be at 12 inches deep, 4-inch slab, 3/8 rebar, barrier. I got to bring in several loads of shale because it's got to be built up because where it is back there, it holds water. So I got to put it at least a foot above grade and blend everything in and make it look right, which I'll be putting videos out as the process goes along. to show everything I'm doing. I put my first one out, I think it was Tuesday, 2 days ago, and just the process. It's a lot of tail chasing. It's a lot of phone calls. It's a big deal to like get this process going. It's all time consuming. I mean, I've spent 2 weeks just with no extra time whatsoever, just dealing with getting the bids in and sending out flyers and getting people to talk to me and getting, it's just, I'm ready for a little bit of humdrum for the summer. I'm ready for everything, just all the dust to settle and everything to just calm down a little bit.
4-inch, you can park a big rig on it.
Yeah. But all the metal building producers and guys that put them up and everything, all the companies, they require a 12-inch footing just to be able to anchor it down to make sure nothing moves. It isn't a matter of just doing a 4-inch slab and then putting stuff on top of it. If you want to do a carport, you can do that. That's not a problem. But to build a shop that's going to be solid and going to last for 30, 40 years, it takes a footing. And so I got my bids in on the concrete. And then it takes about 6 weeks after the concrete's done. Well, no, it takes one. Okay. The process is once I do a deposit on the building, within 5 days, they'll send me the blueprint that the concrete guy needs to do to put the footings down and how they want to connect it. And then it's a month after that curing for the slab. So I'm hoping by this fall to have it in the dry.
You got Jason got the new Holly 750 in today. Watched your video on testing the air fuel mixture. Bruce, what do you think the RPM should be for a 454? You showed 600 RPM on the envelope.
6 or 7. It depends. That's Jason Oxley. Thanks for coming in, Jason. The 454, it's got a lot of torque, so it could probably run 6. I prefer 657-ish when it comes to it. It depends on how much it pulls down when you put it in gear and what accessories you got on it. If you got air conditioning or anything on it, it'll draw it down. But the 6 is always a good number. 6 was always a fun number because if you got any kind of cam in it, it'll thump. But 700 is fine as long as it doesn't draw it down to like 5 or 450 once you put it in gear. So just play with it. And remember, use your vacuum gauge on your carburetor. Make sure you get the highest vacuum number, and then after that, then you adjust the idle.
I use the vacuum. Use the vacuum to set the carbs.
Good, perfect. Then whatever you feel comfortable with, whatever it sounds best, once you put it in gear, like in reverse, and see how it sounds and how it holds idle, and then put it in drive and see how it sounds and how it holds idle. And then if you're happy, you're good to go. You're gonna like the 750. That vacuum sector is 750 on a big block. I ran one of those on the race car. I mean, it's just for the street. They're just great on a big block. Anybody know the score of the Oklahoma game? Anybody watching the Oklahoma game? The NBA Finals? Give us a little update every now and then. How many is the show we have watching right now?
7. Oh, and it says 12.
Okay. So, guys, that's nice. I appreciate all you guys being here.
You want to wake a 454 up, install a double racing valve springs, make that throttle like a NASCAR. Hey, Uncle Buck, do you round 3 things to that video on the top 10 tools, equipment, or rebuilding your Chevy? I'm curious to know what kind of goodies you got in that shop.
Top 10 in the shop? Read it to me one more time.
Do you round Did you ever get around to doing the video on the top 10 tools and equipment for the rebuilding of your Chevy? I'm curious to know what kind of goodies you got in that shop.
No, actually, no. I mean, I appreciate you watching the older videos. No, I really never did get. Now, it's when it comes to like older cars and stuff. I mean, it's very basic. Like I've said many times, everything I need to work on anything pre-computer is in my Craftsman stand-up. I mean, ratchets, wrenches, screwdrivers, I mean, everything you need. I mean, there really isn't any specialty stuff. Now, if you're going to do your own suspension rebuilds, like front suspension rebuilds, there's some specific tools you need for that. But basically, time and light, vacuum gauge, torque wrench, ratchet set, screwdrivers, wrenches, all those normals, maybe a flaring tool, a tubing cutter, just basic everyday stuff. Besides, but the only specialty stuff I got is the time and light, vacuum gauge, a ball joint set. It's all basic tools. I mean, that's the great thing about it. I mean, my son has offered to work for a major dealership, and he's going to be interning for like a year. But then there's going to be a list of high-end tools he's going to have specifically for that, whether it is Ford, Dodge, Chevy, whatever it is. He's going to have to, get a tab going in the tool truck where everything I need is already sitting in my toolbox, and I've had it for 30 years. I mean, there's not a lot of specialty stuff you really need for the stuff pre-computer stuff. Basic tools that get you about 90% of the way. Or at least it has me. I mean, I got some air tools for the body work, but just for mechanicing and turning wrenches, just a good, solid toolkit. Remember back in the day, I don't know how everybody is here, but remember that Sears and Roebuck had, they would have that toolkit. They'd have it all exploded out on this picture, in the catalog. That was the coolest stuff ever. I always dreamed of having that toolkit, but that was like overkill even back then.
Asked what kind of engine is behind you.
That is the engine. That's the engine on my biggest video, the 550,000 view video. This is the $500 build. This is the motor that was sitting in the truck that I put new gaskets in, camshaft, time and chain, gaskets, the whole 9 yards. Now the intake is just sitting there right now, but this is the one in that video. If you, all you gotta do is like go to my list and type in 500, and this engine will come up. Now it's got different valve covers on it because I use them on the truck that I'm driving right now, but that's the baby right there. That's the one that's going in the frame that's outside when we start building the race truck. Okay, that'll be after the build for the shop. But this motor is, and it's got the good heads on it, the 487X heads. I mean, I'm really looking forward to firing this thing off. So if you guys haven't seen that video, just go through my library and check it out.
Jeremiah lives in Moonshine Country, Popcorn, Sutton Land, East Tennessee. See here. I've got a video of a collection of cars worth around $1 million. And you only need a 10, 15, and 16 millimeter to take a modern Chevy apart.
But you got to have a collection of 10 millimeters because they all kind of, they grow legs and they walk.
What is your thoughts on turbo?
Turbo? Okay, I'm not against any power adder whatsoever. Now, I'm from the 80s, so that was when NOS first came out and nitrous was a thing, and we blew up a lot of engines doing it because we didn't know what we were doing. We really didn't know what we were doing, okay? Turbos are awesome. They are, you cannot down them, okay? But like putting a turbo on this engine, all right, you would have to buy a high-end, high-dollar, specifically designed for blow-through carburetor for this, which is a high-end, or you'd have to convert to fuel injection, which is the air horn going into it. I mean, it's 6 of one, half to the other. There is nothing wrong, but the problem with this kind of engine with a turbo is that bottom end in this thing is not designed to handle that power. I mean, stock end, bottom end 350 with say 8 pounds of boost, it's not going to have a lot of longevity when it comes to the crankshaft and the rods. It's just not. I mean, there's just that kind of squish and pushing that much air and fuel in. This one's not designed for that. You can hit it for 3 or 4 seconds down the drag tip with 125 or 150 pill with the nitrous, and it'll live for a while. But when you're running a turbo and you're running any kind of serious boost, you're going to have a lot of expense on top end, fabbing it up, and then the bottom end is just not able to handle it. Big block's better, but small block is just like a cast crank small block. You'll just blow it up like a bomb.
Just bought a short block Chevy powered 1950 Studebaker Champion convertible, easy to work on, finishing up the complete rewiring job.
Yeah, Studebaker's cool. I mean, a lot of people think they're not very good looking, but Studebaker, I had a shop teacher, a wood shop teacher. He was a huge Studebaker guy back in the 80s. And we all thought he was crazy because, we didn't know anything. We were just a bunch of teenage kids, but he loved them. He had like 7 or 8 of them. And he had some really, really rare ones that, back then in the 80s, Studebakers, like everybody's like, oh, they just gave them away. Kind of like Novas back in the 80s. You couldn't give away a Nova, like a 72 or set to 75 Nova back in the day. Now you can't touch them for under $10,000. Where you could buy them all day long for $200. The market always changes, but Studebaker's cool. Have you guys seen that blown Studebaker that's running the small tire in all the Outlaw stuff? That's a cool car, and it's steel everything. It's just been front ended, and it's got a full cage in it, a floating car cage, and that thing hauls the mail. He is tearing it up. And it's cool to watch an old car like that go down the strip.
I want a turbo 66 327 with 302 double pump heads. Dave's Garage said, don't forget a good valve spring compressor and engine stand.
It's sitting right there, Dave. on the pegboard. Your spring compressor is sitting up there.
And then Jeremiah says, I'm always missing the 10 millimeter. I'm building this 327. It's a 327 wide journal.
Nice. It doesn't have the forged steel crank in it, because if you're going to put a turbo on it, it's going to have the forged. A cast crank will not live. Not when you put the squeeze in. You get any kind of dome pressure on that, it's going to blow the bottom end out if you got a cast crank. It's just not strong enough to handle it. And that's like the new video I have out from Sunday, the small block versus big block versus LS. You cannot argue the fact that a junkyard LS with a turbo on it and fuel injection will handle 1,000 horsepower. They're just designed different. The mains and everything are different. They are the old school first gen small blocks just don't have the bottom end, the design to handle that kind of power. They just don't. I mean, I love them, and I'll be running them until the day I die. But for putting it just out of the stockyard with 200,000 miles or 240,000 miles, and put a turbo in it and a fuel system and a computer system on it, and it handle 1,000 horsepower rear wheel, There isn't a small block in the world to do that. Not one, unless you're going to spend thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars.
He says, Jeremiah says, it's like I said, I'm building the engine. Tim says, years ago, my 86 C20 fully running, no rust, worth 500 to 1,000. Now look at square bodies.
Yeah, but okay, but the square bodies are still affordable. You can still get a tax return and find a good, decent one. Where Camaros, Chevelles, Mustangs, unless you find some kind of special deal, you are going to have to get a second mortgage to be able to get one, even in basket case condition. Okay, that's they've all been ate up, and so now you got, Novas, square bodies, S10s are huge right now, but they're still affordable. You can still find them. I can buy parts trucks around here for anywhere between $800 to $1,200 all day long. Just pull them out of the weeds, and take 2 or 3 of them. They'll build one really nice one out of them. It's just titles. It's always been title problems with old trucks sitting in the weeds. It's along with anything else with the Mustangs. It's always title issues. People just don't keep up with it, and they sit for 30 years, and you got to do what you got to do to get a title on these things. But they're still out there, and they're still attainable for small amounts of money.
How do I tell the difference between a steel and a cast?
Sound. Okay, this is a cast crank. If I took it out and I took a hammer to like a journal, and it would go thunk, that's a cast crank. If you took this one out as forged crank, you'd hit it and it go ding like a tuning fork. That's the difference. The forged is always going to be better than cast. But that's how you tell. The easy way to tell. Another one is there's a parting line. A forged crank will have a very thin parting line on the journals. You'll see it, casting mark. A cast one will be really wide, and it'll look like it's ground off from the factory. But the easiest way to do it, if it's loose and out and it's sitting on the floor, just ting it with a hammer. If it goes thunk, it's cast. If it tings like a tuning fork, it's forged.
Jeremiah says that I built a 454 turbo. Jason says changed my plugs on the 454. It's AC Delco #1 plug in it. I don't see much info for that number. What is your suggestion to put in there?
I think me and you talked about it earlier, Jason, or had a message. I'm a AC Delco 45. That's my go-to. 44 is okay, but it's a nice solid number. AC Delco 45s handle just about 99% of what you're going to run. So my go-to has always been an AC Delco 45s.
I love the older model cars. They can take a beating and keep on going down the road, unlike the new models nowadays.
They're Timex. Okay, you can't tell me that my 09 model out there is going to be worth anything, or going to even be in good enough shape to rebuild in 50 years, like this Mustang sitting behind me, or like this engine right here, or like that square body build in 50 years. They're just not. They're not built the same now. They're not. They're built to save money and charge you as much as they can, but save as much money as they can. Them old pickup trucks, they were built as farm implements. They were tools, and they were built really solid and tough. Because I've been taking these things apart for several years now, you can tell the difference between like a 78 model and an 84 model. They're light. The 84 stuff is lighter, thinner. The metal is more bendable. It's just, you can tell that GM did things to lighten things up so that their cost was lower. They look the same, but like the fenders and the hoods and everything, they're not the same. They're lighter and they're thinner from like 80 on. or 81 on. And that's just for cost. If you're making 1 million trucks and you can shave 300 pounds off of a truck, making 1 million of them a year, that's a lot of metal you're not having to pay for. You know, think about it. And that's the problem with modern vehicles. They're all plastic. They're all aluminum. You know, you can't tell me there ain't going to be no 50-year-old Acuras going to be on the show circuit or at the car shows. And if it is, it's going to be rare. Just the way it is. There ain't going to be any Suburbans. You know, if they are, they're going to have sit in a bubble for years.
At the moment, I'm putting in the new gauges to my 78 step side. I have all the wired up and working, but I'm still having a hard time fitting it back together correctly. The gauges, the bezel, and dash. Any tips?
Back up. Take a little bit of time off. Go drink a cold one. Go watch the basketball game. Take your mind off her for a little bit, and it'll pop in your head. Okay, I figured out what I'm doing wrong. When you get aggravated, I've done this many times. All of you guys that they're building stuff have done this many times. Take a break. Okay, wait till the next day. You know, just get your mind off of it, and it'll pop in your head, and you go, oh, that's what I'm missing. Happens every time. It happens to me. It happens to all of us. Just take a break.
I couldn't afford to buy my 72 Demon now. I paid $2,700 for it new. I've got money's worth out of it. Anybody watching tonight may make sure you watch Uncle Buck's videos. I am amazed how much info I learned as I'm redoing my 76C10. Keep up the videos, sir. Can't wait for the rear end videos.
Yep. I've got the table cleaned off, and I think I'm going to take the cherry picker and pick it up and put it over there this weekend, and we're going to start on that. Video is coming out. I decided today that I cleaned up the shop and put all the tools away and everything, and so that rear end video is going to be starting this weekend. So it may be a week or two, but that's coming out. And see if we can get that posi unit done, get it cleaned up, make it look like $1 million.
Beverages that came with a new tractor for 75 years ago. I have carnal knowledge of cars. Have to be careful. The original plastic interior parts are so brittle and easy to break. They are.
But okay. I had a home business where I took old Camaros and Firebirds apart, and I would redo all the interior plastic because this is before the aftermarket came on. Okay. It's a matter of what you're seeing. Let me explain this. Okay. Now, if say you got kick panels on the floor, vents and everything, if it's a little brittle on top where it's not going to be seen, it really doesn't matter. Recolor it, clean it, run them through the dishwasher, through the whole cycle of the dishwasher. It cleans all the old goo off, and you can recolor them, and it accepts it very good. Plastic loves a little bit of heat, and dishwasher, it works. Christina don't like it, and I do it when she's not here, so she doesn't know what happened. But it works it works wonderful. Run them through the dishwasher, you know, and then you can put them, recolor them, and just as long as they're not brittle and cracked up where you can't see them, what does it matter? As long as it looks good. I just gave myself away on that one. I'm gonna hear about this one after this. After this line. Oh,
no.
I'm getting the evil eye right now.
The great gun works also. And a little Marv mystery oil.
Yeah, I love Marvel mystery oil. I mean, it's old school as it comes, but it's just so good. It works for lubrication and for detergent and just baking out old goo out of old engine and stuff. It's so good. I mean, it's cheap and it just works so good. So good. What time is it?
18.2.
Okay.
You just told off on yourself.
Yes, I did. Hey, anybody watching the game? Can we get a what the score is update? I'm hoping they win tonight. That way it's over. That way we ain't worried about it when we're doing these lives anymore.
I threw you under the bus last time about the dishwasher a few weeks back. My dad, Uncle Buck, love you.
I really appreciate all of you guys that are here. I really, really do. I really do. But like I was saying, you guys stay tuned for the next couple of weeks. There might be something really big coming down the pike. It might be life changing. It's really a big deal. And it'll be very beneficial for all of you. So just stay tuned. And I really enjoy doing these. I really enjoy the back and forth and the answering questions and everything. And I just appreciate all of you guys. Remember, smash that like button, hit that thumbs up, smash that like button while you're here. And if you think about it, check out a t-shirt, send a gift, do something, every little bit helps, even if it's just a little bit, just, I appreciate everything.
The game, 53-39 Pacers.
Well, they got to win twice, and they're in Indianapolis right now. But is it halftime yet? No, it won't be halftime yet. That don't mean nothing. That just means that they're off to a slow start, and they've done that a couple of times before they come back. So, but they got to lose twice to not get it. And if they lose tonight, they go back to Oklahoma City. So we're still optimistic. We're still good to go.
Second quarter.
Okay, now you guys have said this then. What equipment would you guys put in a new shop? If what equipment? I'm talking about like toolboxes, tools, cleaners, blasters, lifts. What is the top 5 things that you guys would think would be the thing to put in a new shop? If you had the opportunity to build a new one, which is the first time ever for me, but I'm getting a tall enough ceiling where I can get a 4-post lift in. So I know that's happening.
Car lift is number 1.
Car lift is number 1. Yep. Big deal. Because I am sick to death at 57 years old, getting up and down, crawling underneath cars on a creeper. I would love to be able to get up in the air where I can stand up underneath it, just for the cleaning and the busting the rust and getting all the grime out from underneath it. That would be so choice, just to be able to get up underneath it. Exhaust system, because I still got to put exhaust system underneath the Bamalam, and I'm going to be up and down and up and down and up and down, and I'm going to be sore for a month just from my big old ass getting up and down off the floor and test fitting and tacking, and I'm not looking forward to it, but I'm going to do it, but I'm not looking forward to it.
If you spray gun, you won't regret it.
Yeah, that's on the list. Now I have a DeWalt, a wireless, with a battery, a washer, but it doesn't have a lot of power. That's on the list, is get a gas powered pressure washer that's got some balls to it that can really put the shit to it. That would be, and I'm hoping to get a lift with wheels on it so I can wheel it outside and just go to town and pressure wash everything from underneath.
Jeremiah says I use a T-post lift.
You know what I'm afraid of? I'm afraid of having one up in the air and it tipping off the end. That's what I'm afraid of. I mean, I've seen too many videos of cars, really nice cars, ending up on the floor. I mean, for everything that I do, I think a 4-post would be fine.
They meant a paint spray gun.
I got one. I got a spray gun.
still in the box.
It's still in the box. Never been used. Yep. But that's what I think. If I can get one of the compressors out of here and get everything kind of covered up and get all the parts and everything out of here and get in the new shop where this is just kind of like the bodywork bay, I think it'd be much better.
What tool brand do you prefer, or it don't matter to you?
Well, okay. That's a good question. I really don't, when it comes to like tool brands, like when it comes to the battery stuff, I'm a DeWalt guy. Kenny, my son, is Milwaukee. I'm a DeWalt. That's what I have. And I've got a bunch of corded DeWalt tools that are perfectly fine. When it comes to hand tools, I prefer what's best. The funny part is I have a Workman's Choice ratchet that I bought when I was 16 years old at Walmart that I used with cheater bars to break head bolts loose and all kinds of stuff loose. And it's still going. Okay. So it isn't really a matter of what brand, it's a matter of strength and longevity. And if I could buy 84 model Workman's Choice everything, I probably would because it's lasted my whole life, my whole wrenching life.
I had a table mill is a great plus. This Chico's lift is 50 years old and the vehicle has never came off it yet. You better buy a twin bed for your new shop. The biggest compressor possible, 4-post lift with accessories, plasma pattern, evolution shop, chop saw, tool room would be my first 5.
Actually, I think I meant my first buy is actually going to be a drill press. I've never actually had a drill press. I've got grinders on pedestals and all kinds of stuff, but a drill press and a saw, a band saw would probably just for fabbing stuff up, especially the drill press. I've never had one. I already got the welder, but I got months and months and months to figure it out. But I mean, I went to PRI this winter, and there's lots of vendors out there that's got a lot of cool tools that I would, you would love to have. Cleaners, ultrasonic cleaners, that would be like the bomb. That would be great just for these old trucks. You got to think about what you're going to do. If I'm going to continue to build these old trucks, then we're dealing with rust rehabilitation, cleaning parts, grease, grime, all that stuff. Yeah, it kind of depends on what you're going to do. But yeah, the lift, air compressor, drill press, just basic stuff just to get started. Stuff that I've never had. The lift is the biggie. The lift is the biggie. No more getting up and down off the floor. That would be huge for me.
What would you say the hardest part of rebuilding a Chevy S10?
Rust. Cab corners. Rust in the fenders, rust in the bed, rust. Just that's the worst part of the whole thing. I mean, and you guys have heard me say it over and again. I hate body work. I could turn wrenches for hours and hours and hours building engines and stuff like that, but fixing rust, it's just so tedious, and it takes so much time, and it's hard, and it's aggravating, and that's the worst part. It's just the rust because they never protected them in the factory. They were just there to be there for 5 years and get the shit beat out of them and get replaced. That was it. And they didn't galvanize nothing. They didn't paint anything. They didn't protect anything. Then that's why they all rust in all the same spots. All of them do. Just rust. Rust. There's a reason rust is a 4-letter word.
I have a Shopsmith 7-in-1. Love it. Check them out.
Shopsmith 7-in-1. Can you give me a link in the description? Shopsmith 7-in-1. Now is that like a multi-tool, like set in a corner and it's got 7 different attachments on it? I'll have to look that one up. Shopsmith 7-in-1. Is it halftime yet?
Let's see here. I picked up my 84 and project but had no rust. It's the one message you on Facebook. Ivan, that I follow your videos to help build.
I really appreciate that.
You like it.
What's his name?
OD Roach.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I know who you are. I really appreciate you coming by for the live. Keep me updated on how everything is going. That's the thing. All you guys that message me and ask me questions, just keep me updated. Let me know what's going on. Because, I mean, that's the whole point of all of this is so if I learn every day, and if I can do something to help you guys to make your projects a little easier and make it a little smoother so it's not so aggravating and you have more fun with it, then I've done my job. I've really done my job. That's the great thing about the car community is just that we try to help each other out. I mean, you know, we're competitive, but we'll still help each other out in the pits when we need to, whether it's dirt racing, drag racing, you know, rock crawling, whatever it is. If you need a part and I got it, it's yours. That's a great thing about the car community. It's a big brotherhood.
What intake on the engine?
That it's not bolted on. This is an old school Torker Edelbrock Torker 2. Torker. And Edelbrock Torker. Now, I did a video about it cleaning it, but this is old school. I wanted this intake because I'm thinking about if it runs good and everything seals up good, that we might have to put like a little bit of a plate system on that one. And with a plate system, I prefer an open plenum intake. And my buddy, Uncle Mike, brung that to me. And I'm really looking forward to that. So if this thing fires off and it runs good and it seals up good and it doesn't smoke very bad, we're going to put a plate system on that, and we'll see if we can blow the damn thing up.
It's great. It's great just working out the carb issues. I think it's got too much fuel pressure.
7 pounds for a stock fuel pump. 7 pounds. And if you have a gauge on it, it'll fluctuate between 5 and 7 as it's pumping when it's running at idle. Anything over 7 pounds overpowers the meter valve and the jets and stuff in the carburetor. So if you have if you have an electric pump and you're running 12, 14 pounds of pressure, you need to have a regulator on it regulated down to 7, or it'll mess your car. It'll push too much pressure to the carburetor and it won't idle right. It won't run right. So 7 pounds is what you need for a street car if you run electric.
Thoughts on Chevy 400?
Love them. They're impossible to find. And if you find one that is a stock bore, it just needs to 30 over, you've struck gold. You hit the lottery. Now Summit has brand new. You can buy them, and they're pricey, but you can buy them. But to find a junkyard 400, there's nothing that beats that torque for that small block. It's cubic inches. That's why the 415s and the 430 small blocks are so popular, because they're just bulletproof, and they just make so much power. 400s are awesome.
Yes, Grant, you better put a bed in the new shop for when your wife puts you in the doghouse for putting parts in the dishwasher to clean them up.
We're gonna have a man cave. I think we're gonna do on one part we're gonna do two layers, and I think the top layer with the stairs is gonna be the man cave. You know, a couple of couches and a big screen, and that's where once we get it up and running, that's probably where we're gonna be doing the lives from.
As a young C10 enthusiast, for your hard work and keep it up, Buck. Love your videos. Keep it up. Much love from Orange Beach, Alabama.
I appreciate you so much.
I've got every engine made, Chevy engine made. Some I have multiple. Cody Brooke says it's a mechanical, but it seems too high. It's weird. I'll figure it out. Just need a regulator for safety's sake.
Yeah. Make sure and get a gauge on it. Now I've run them for decades. Summit runs a adjustable fuel line off your carburetor, and it has a port on it. You can put a little small gauge on it, and that is so beneficial to know what kind of pressure you're running. It's just a matter of finding out how much pressure you're running and then just adjusting your regulator to it. But I mean, if you got any kind of high flow, high volume pump, whether it's mechanical or electrical, you got to regulate it down, because if you overpower that carb, it's not going to run right. If you put too much pressure to the carb, it's not going to run right. I learned that one at the drag strip. That one actually cost me a round win. I mean, a big win. That was that's a story for another day. We okay? What time is it?
8:59.
All right, we're about an hour in. Do you guys have any last questions? I'm pretty sure it's halftime by now.
Yes.
Do you guys have any questions? Anything? Because we were in our hour.
Let's see here. Well, here's the question. What do I do for the fuel line from the pump to the carb? Mine's half hard line and half hard line, half cut into rubber line.
Okay. Is it a small block or a big block? I mean the line that comes up comes in between 350. Okay. So your 5/8 line with 3/8 inside diameter fuel line, rubber line is fine. It'll feed that engine all day long. Even the 375 horse aluminum headed Camaro engines had a 5/8 inside diameter line. Okay. Then that fed that motor, and even the ones that had dual carbs on them, it fed that motor. Okay. That's plenty of volume to handle that. You know, there's no problem. There's no reason that there's nothing wrong with the 3/8 inside diameter and 5/8 line, metal line. It'll feed the beast.
Can I go rubber all the way from the pump to the carb?
I wouldn't suggest it, because you got a lot of heat. You got a lot of stuff in here. Move around now. You can, if you're going to do that, I would suggest now Summit. Like I'm a big Summit fan. Summit has a kit you can buy that has the AN fitting from here, the braided line that goes up to here, and it's just vibration. Okay, if you have the metal line to go up to about right here, and then rubber to go up over the carb, that's fine too. Just as long, because this here is going to vibrate. It just does. Okay, it's just going to bounce around. So you just got to kind of protect the rubber line, because over time, if you rub, sooner or later it's going to get a leak. That's why I always, if I got them and they're here and it's the old Quadrajet line, I'll cut it off about right here. Then I'll run rubber.
It says, I'll check it out. Thanks. Yeah, that's what I have. I just don't have the connection word.
Yeah, yeah. Just Summit sells a really nice little kit it's already, the AN lines are already on top of it, and the braided line is already there. It's just a kit. It used to be like $40. I'm sure now it's like 60 or $70, but it's a really nice little kit, and it'll fix what you need, and then it's a little bit pliable, so you can move around wherever you need it. It'll be money well spent.
Darn inflation will get you.
Yeah, I'm finding out. I took about 15 years off from the community, and still to this day I'm in sticker shock. The amount of how much stuff has went up. It just the prices of everything. Like the adjustable fuel line I was talking about earlier. I used to be able to get that for $40. Now it's $100. It is just the way the world is. But it's still a dynamite setup.
I bought 3 fuel line clamps and it was $11 off. Can you believe it?
Yeah, I can believe it. I can believe it all day long. I mean, now, okay, let me give you a little secret. Okay, like AutoZone and O'Reilly's and Advanced Auto Parts, they have pro accounts. Okay, I've got myself signed up as a pro account. It's about a 25% savings. So if you put your name under Joe Schmo's auto shop, you can sign up for a pro account. It'll save you some money. Not the kind of money, because Kenny no longer works for O'Reilly's, which was a great deal. I mean, getting parts at cost was huge, which is not available to me because now he's working for a dealership. But getting a pro account will save you by 25%. So if it's Dave's Garage, if it's Steve's Garage, if it's whatever it is, walk in and sign up for the pro account. It'll save you money over a lot of money over the long run, which I'm under Uncle Buck's Garage in my pro account. And there have been a lot of benefits, especially through O'Reilly's. That's why I still go through the O'Reilly's. I got no hard feelings with O'Reilly's. It's a great company, and they stock stuff nobody else does. And if they ain't got it, they can have it in 24 hours. So I'm a fan. So I have a pro account.
Can you randomly name a shop? I've got a pair of 66327 double hump heads. How much worth?
Are they the 092 heads? I know 092s. Yeah. If they're double hump heads, okay. Now I'm gonna step on some toes. Okay, this is my opinion of double hump heads. Is they were great in the 60s and 70s. They were awesome, but the aftermarket has come on so well that they're pretty much everything out of the box now, whether it's trick flow, airflow research, Edelbrock, whatever it is, they are going to outflow a double hump head. If you need period correct and you're trying to do a restoration of a car, they're great. But for me, if I was going to like really try to go as much power as possible, I go aftermarket because they just flow better. They just make more power. It's cool to say they're double hump heads, and they're awesome. And I've seen them get ported and flowed and just make huge amounts of power. But the aftermarket has really come on. They are 50-year-old technology and 50-year-old numbers. But if you got somebody that needs them, they're worth money. They're worth hundreds of dollars. If they're not cracked, and if they're in decent shape, and if they're the big valves, they're still worth money because there's still a market out there for them. But for power production, aftermarket is going to blow them out of the water every time because it's just 50-year-old technology. But I still think they're great.
Do you have a tax number for the pro account?
I'm in the process of getting my tax number because of the LLC for this. I'm in the process of getting my tax number. That way, I don't get charged twice. Tax for buying the parts and then tax if I sell the parts after the fact. So, yeah, I'm in the process of getting my tax ID number so that I don't get double charged. You know, if you think about that 10%, that can, if you're buying parts on a regular basis, that's a lot of money.
Let's see, $300 worth.
Yeah. To the right buyer, they're absolutely worth $300. As if they're not cracked and if they look good and they're clean and they got the big valves in them, they're well worth that amount of money.
Aftermarkets do good, don't keep up.
Unfortunately, that's the kind of way it is when it comes to power. But if you're building you need a numbers matching, you need a certain amount. There's nothing else that shows that little double hump in the front of that head. You know, that's that's cool kind of thing. But they made power. But the aftermarket is just now with the technology and the CNC port and everything, they're just better. They're just better. They're just going to make more money. Is halftime over with yet? Let me know.
What are the requirements for a pro account?
You just walk in and say, I have Joe Schmo's garage. Just put it. They don't require, like O'Reilly's did not require me to give him LLC information, nothing. Just that they set up that I'm going to be a shop that's going to be buying parts. It's going to be on Oak Garage, and they signed me up. That was it. There was no requirements whatsoever. Just say that you're going to be doing it. So, yeah. And all you have to do to basically be your own mechanic is to do one side job or one big job a year. That's it. That's it. You know. And there's a bunch of and if you go on like O'Reilly's website, there's a bunch of benefits to having a pro account.
Cool.
All right, so we're gonna call it a night. Game's on. We're gonna see you next Thursday. If you got, I'm gonna do a little editing tonight before I go to bed and finish watching the game. So y'all have a great night. Y'all be good. I appreciate all of you guys. Think about supporting the channel. Hit that like button. I'll see you next week. I'll make sure I remember I drop them every Sunday. We got a really cool one coming out. Exhaust manifolds versus headers. That's going to be the one that's going to hit Sunday. So you guys check it out Sunday at noon Central, and we'll see you Thursday. Y'all be good.